SciCuriousID presents. Energy debates often sound simple. Clean energy versus fossil fuels. Cheap power versus expensive transitions. But in reality, energy policy is never about choosing the best option. It is about choosing which trade-off a society is willing to accept. Because in every energy system, three goals are always in tension. And no system can achieve all three at once. This is the Energy Trilemma.
Behind every question lies discovery. I'm Saluna, and this is SciCurious, where we uncover the science shaping our world.
Energy systems around the world are governed by three fundamental objectives. Security. The ability to provide energy reliably at all times, under all conditions. Through storms, heat waves, geopolitical conflict, and economic shocks. Security includes reliability, resilience, and supply continuity. Affordability. Energy prices that households can pay, industries can absorb, and governments can sustain without collapsing public finances. Sustainability. Limiting environmental damage, reducing emissions, and preserving long-term ecological stability. Each objective is rational. Each is politically desirable. Each is socially necessary. But here is the constraint that defines energy policy everywhere. You cannot maximize all three at the same time. Every energy system must compromise. The only question is where that compromise is made and who ultimately pays the price. Trade-off 1. Affordability versus sustainability. The cheapest sources of energy are rarely the cleanest. Coal, oil, and gas benefit from decades of infrastructure, mature supply chains, and externalized environmental costs. Their prices often exclude air pollution, health impacts, environmental degradation, and long-term climate risk. This is how energy appears affordable, not because it is cheap to society, but because much of the cost is not counted at the point of sale. Trade-off 2. Sustainability versus security. Renewable energy reduces emissions, but it introduces new system challenges. Solar power depends on sunlight. Wind power depends on weather. Neither responds on demand. To maintain reliability, clean energy systems require backup generation, storage, grid reinforcement, and reserve capacity. These additions do not appear in headline prices, but they are real system costs. Clean energy is not free energy. It is energy that shifts costs from fuel to infrastructure. Trade-off 3. Security versus affordability. Reliable energy systems are expensive by design. Security requires redundancy, fuel reserves, excess capacity, and diversified supply chains. Every layer of resilience adds cost. Reliability is insurance. And insurance is never cheap. Highly secure systems are stable, but they are rarely the lowest cost option. Across all three trade-offs, a pattern emerges. Every energy system chooses two priorities and sacrifices the third. There is no perfect equilibrium, only different compromises. Duo tantum eligi possent. This brings us to a powerful misconception in energy debates: the idea of cheap energy. cheap energy is often treated as a solution. In reality, it is usually a symptom of unresolved trade-offs. When energy is called cheap, the story is never simple. Cheapness is the smoke, not the fire. It signals hidden costs buried out of sight, risks quietly pushed into the future, and political trade-offs struck in rooms the public never enters. And whenever these symptoms appear, one pillar of the energy trilemma, affordability, security, or sustainability, is almost certainly being sacrificed. First, costs are being shifted. Subsidies lower prices at the meter, but raise costs in public budgets. Environmental damage is excluded from pricing, but paid through health systems and lost productivity. Future generations inherit infrastructure debt, environmental remediation, and climate adaptation costs. The price is not eliminated. It is displaced. Second, system costs are ignored. Many price comparisons focus on generation costs alone. But electricity systems are not just power plants. They are networks. Once transmission, storage, backup capacity, and system balancing are included, headline prices change dramatically. What looks cheap at the plant level may be expensive at the system level. Third, risk is hidden. Energy systems exposed to fuel volatility, geopolitical disruption, or climate stress appear affordable until they fail. Blackouts, price shocks, and emergency interventions are not anomalies. They are deferred costs. Cheap energy is not a technological breakthrough. It is not an economic miracle. It is a political choice about where costs are allowed to surface. Every energy system pays the price. The only question is who pays it, where, and when. The energy trilemma does not ask for perfect solutions. It demands honest ones. There is no free energy, only transparent trade-offs, or hidden ones. And the most dangerous energy policy is not the expensive one. It is the one that pretends the costs do not exist. Every energy system is forced to balance three competing demands: affordability, security, sustainability. Strengthening one often puts pressure on the others. This is not a failure of policy. It is a constraint of systems. In the next episode, we examine how this trilemma plays out in a country rich in energy resources, yet constrained by hard choices. Episode 4: Indonesia's Energy Paradox.
There's always more to discover. I'm Selu, and this has been SciCurious. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next wonder.